Enderburn had always been a small, peaceful town, a town with a lake in the middle of it, nestled between rolling hills and surrounded by meadows and riverbeds. It was no surprise that fishing was more than just a hobby there. It was a way of life, a tradition passed down through generations. Noah had grown up there around the lake. The house he lived in, like most of the other lakeside houses in Enderburn, faced away from the lake, their backs to the water. Every window looked out onto the reeds. Every dream he had was of tadpoles and wading in the water with his friends. Everyone who lived in Enderburn ate, slept, and dreamt of the lake. As a young boy, days out on the lake had meant the world to Noah. It was time he got to spend with his father, a fisherman by trade. He had 3 older siblings, loud ones, and sometimes it was difficult for a child to share. These days were just for Noah and his father, for the quiet rippling of the water and the humming of dragonflies. From the moment Noah could walk, his father had started taking him on the lake, teaching him the art of fishing. They would cast off from the dock that doubled as their back porch and spend countless hours together, casting lines into the water and reveling in the peace that only fishing could bring. Those were the afternoons Noah would open up the most. He found himself sharing whatever had been bothering him, complaining about a teacher that had been rude to him, a failed test, how sometimes life felt too big and scary to exist in. His father, Johann, was always happy to listen. It seemed something about the gentle rock of the fishing boat lulled Johann into an openness he was unaccustomed to. Fishing with his father was Noah's safe place, but it was also where he learned the most about his father. Any childhood story Johann shared was told between the casts of the reel. Once, Noah lost his fishing rod to a particularly large fish. It thrashed harder than he was used to, and it tore the fishing rod right out of his hands. He had been scared his father would be disappointed or make him work to buy another one, but instead, Johann had simply smiled and handed him his own rod. A few days later, he came home from work with a brand new rod and spent the evening before dinner teaching Noah how to hold it so that he wouldn't be taken by surprise like that again. Because freshwater fishing was a passion they shared, Johann was happy to impart the wisdom of the craft to Noah. He learned about freshwater fishing gear, the importance of quality reels, and the nuances of different fishing techniques. Johann was always sure to emphasize the basics: the right bait, the perfect cast, and the patience required to coax a catch. The memories of those fishing trips etched themselves into Noah's very being, creating a mosaic of joy, laughter, and the quiet companionship that only a father and son could share. But life has a way of pulling the rug out from under you, and tragedy struck when Johann fell ill. Noah would remember the day his father came home from the doctor's office for the rest of his life. The furrow in his father's brow, and the way he set his prescription down on the dinner table and hid it when Noah tried to look. Fishing trips dwindled, grew further and farther between as each one shortened, punctuated by coughing fits and apologies. When Johann finally passed, Noah simply stopped fishing. The rods and reels that once held the promise of shared adventures now gathered dust in the corner of the garage. The lake, once a sanctuary of joy, became a reminder of what he was missing. The door to the back porch remained closed. Johann's boat stayed tied to the railing, and Noah let himself fall out of practice. Years passed, and the pain eased, but the longing remained. Noah, now a young man, found himself unlatching the back door, the hinges screeching from disuse. The rusty handle fought him, but soon he was standing on the dock again, looking out onto the lake. The sun dipped below the horizon, casting a golden glow over the water, and he could see a shimmer of a boat out there, a boat with a boy and his father in it, watching the sunset. A realization dawned on him. He had been so eager to leave behind the things that made him sad, he hadn't realized he was leaving the memory of his father behind. Noah dusted off the fishing gear, each piece carrying the weight of the memories he had abandoned. He unfolded a checklist of freshwater fishing gear, tracing the lines with his fingers, recalling the lessons his father had taught him. The checklist became a guide, a roadmap back to the passion he had lost. With determination in his heart, Noah delved into the world of freshwater fishing tips and techniques, reacquainting himself with the basics. He read about the best bass lures of 2024, eager to catch up with the innovations that had emerged during his hiatus. As he explored catch and release techniques and studied topwater fishing strategies, the feeling of connection returned, like a whisper from his father guiding him, his hand holding the fishing rod alongside his own. The journey to regain his fishing prowess led Noah to kayak bass fishing, something he had never done with his father. There had never been the funds for a kayak before, with 3 other siblings to feed, but they were all grown up now, moved out. Only him and his mother remained. The solitude of gliding through the water, paddle in hand, brought a sense of peace, and the echoes of his father's laughter seemed to ripple across the lake. Johann had been a quiet, stoic man, his laugh a rare treat. Noah could hear it in the quiet splash of the lure and in the lapping of the water beneath him. The lake healed him faster than he had expected it to. He hadn't even realized he needed healing. Noah discovered the trout fishing hacks and secrets to successful crappie fishing, applying the newfound knowledge with the enthusiasm of a novice. Pike fishing techniques and the thrill of bass fishing tournaments beckoned him, each new challenge echoing the spirit of his father's adventurous soul. In his quest to reconnect with the art, Noah embraced the diversity of fishing. He explored the best soft plastic baits and experimented with carp fishing rigs. The Beginner's Guide to Fly Fishing became a revelation, opening up a whole new dimension to his angling repertoire. Lake fishing hotspots, once mapped out by his father, became Noah's playground, each cast carrying the weight of shared memories. Reviews of fishing rod and reel combos guided Noah in choosing equipment that seamlessly merged tradition with modern innovation. Winter bass fishing tactics and spring bass fishing tips became seasonal companions, marking the passage of time and the evolving patterns of the lake they both loved so dearly. One evening, with the lake bathed in the soft glow of twilight, Noah tried his hand at bank fishing, a nod to the humble beginnings of his fishing adventures. He had a note with him, "Bank fishing tips for beginners," scrawled in Johann's hurried handwriting. As he cast his line into the water, he felt part of him lighten. Why had he allowed himself to seal this part of his life away? With every challenge conquered and every technique relearned, Noah's journey became a tribute to his father's legacy. He mastered the best fishing knots, an art passed down through generations, and fishing with live bait techniques became a bridge between the past and the present. The seasonal changes in fish behavior mirrored the cyclical nature of life, and Noah found solace in the rhythm of the lake. Noah's journey of reconnection wasn't just about the art of fishing. He had realized it long ago. It was about reclaiming a part of himself that he had lost. As he stood by the water's edge, gazing into the distance, he felt a profound sense of gratitude for the things Johann had taken the time to teach him. Late one evening, Noah returned home from a day on the lake and found his mother standing on the dock waiting for him. She reached out a hand and he took it, clambering up onto the rickety wood beside her. As he tied the boat to the railing, she smiled at him. "I'm glad he found his way back to you." Noah smiled back. "Me too."